60 million people die every year in the world. On average, that is 5 million people dying every month. At least 6 people have died since you clicked on this video. By the way, South Africa's population is approximately 60 million, so statistically speaking, a South Africa of human beings dies annually. Now, after hearing this, one might say, death is a natural thing, everyone dies one day, and since human population on earth is now about 7.8 billion, so it is natural if we are seeing so many deaths in the world. I agree with this point. Nothing in the world is permanent. We are born and we will die. Not a big deal. But my question is, how much do you know about death? Accept it or not, you will face death one day. And if you don't have a systematic pre-understanding of it, then believe me, I've seen people going crazy while they are in their deathbed. So in this video, I'm going to explain you what are the different stages of death as per the modern medical science, and in the next video I'll explain you what yoga has to say about death. So let's get started. Okay, now Wikipedia defines death like this. Death is the permanent cessation of all biological functions that sustain an organism. Now there is no problem with this definition, but the only problem is that this definition is oversimplistic and it does not tell you exactly how death happens. But there is an elaborate definition of death in modern medical science. In most people who are dying, the body's normal systems start to operate more slowly. The heart is beating a little more slowly or with a little less force, so blood is moved around the body more slowly. This means the brain and other organs receive less oxygen than they need, and this way the body begins to shut down. But this shutting down process happens in different steps. The first step towards death is cardiac arrest. The heart stops and the blood ceases to flow in the veins and arteries, which lead to different organs and which are responsible for the supply of blood throughout the whole body. Now, since circulation has stopped, all the organs begin to die, but the first one to die is the brain. Normally, the non-stop flow of blood to the brain is what keeping it alive. Once that is stopped, the person immediately slips into the state of coma. Permanent damage to the brain due to oxygen deficiency starts after 4 minutes. If there is no oxygen supply to the brain for 6 minutes, then the person is declared as brain dead. That is, the brain is dead and all the brain functions, including involuntary functions, have stopped. Now, immediately after circulation and breathing had stopped, rigor mortis sets in. It's basically the second stage of decomposition. It is also known as the death chill. So what happens is that when we are alive, our heart continuously pumps blood and the blood keeps running in our veins and arteries, which generates a certain amount of heat in the blood. The same blood, when flows to all parts of the body, the entire body gets warmed up. But after the blood circulation stops due to heart attack, the blood is no more warmed up, so the body starts cooling down. Generally, it reaches an equilibrium with the environment in 18 to 20 hours after death. Then comes rigor mortis. In simple language, it is the stage when the body begins to stiffen up due to decreasing ATP levels. If you have been to the place where doctors keep the fresh dead bodies, then you must have noticed that the dead body twitches and flexes little bit. This is because the muscle tissue contracts as it dies, and depending upon how many muscles are contracting, it may appear as if the body is moving. It's horrifying for someone who doesn't know about rigor mortis. From here on, the body begins to decompose, and while it is decomposing, it gives a rottening smell when the dying cells releases enzyme inviting the local bacteria and fungi to start the process of decomposition. And guess what? The invitation is accepted and decomposition process starts.